This conference will now be recorded.
Welcome to everyone, and I'm going to get started with the today's session and the agenda, right? So thanks for joining for the today's session, guys. And the session that I'm going to talk about today is the SRE with the modern DevOps practitioner training program, right? So I know you all here to learn the DevOps technologies to become expert, right? And I know you are having some couple of questions to me that how the training could be, what content will be get delivered, how long the duration will be, and what are the different tools that will be covered the most, right? So pretty general question that everyone will be having. I'm there here to address all of your questions today, and if any questions that you feel that is not covered, feel free to drop a message over the chat window, or you can unmute yourself and talk to me as well. But I would suggest that just wait for 20 minutes to complete this demonstration session, and then probably you can ask me the questions. Just that possibly all of your questions that you have may get covered by this 20 minutes of demonstration session, right? That's the reason, right? And yeah, I'm not going to take more than 20 to 30 minutes of time, guys, today for you. And I'll just go over with the very important things that you should be aware of as part of this training program. That's pretty much enough, right? I'm not going with any technical discussion today, which is not going to help anyway, right? So because you can't understand the technical right the day one and we can't cover much as well, right? So the agenda is to get cover about the content, the highlights, and the focus that we are having, right, to uh, make you guys our expertise in the next couple of days and the weeks that we are going to spend today, right? Good. So great that you have chosen the DevOps as your career path and you are here to learn the DevOps technologies and keep the same zeal and the goal towards the end of the sessions and even until you get a job as well. That definitely help you guys. Okay, good. So I think the very first thing that you all are interested on regarding the course content, right? And I'm sure you might have been got the course content already by now. That's where you are here, but I would encourage you go through the latest course content that is what you are seeing here. Pretty much same whatever you have received, but I'm just doing some more enhancements in terms of the phrasing and the tooling perspective. So I would say you can go with this particular course content as well, right? I'm just sharing this link over the chat window, and I'll ask the admin team to share the same course content link or the email or the chat, whatever the way of communication that you are having. You'll get this latest as well after the today's session. Sounds good, right? So and again, right, it's not possible to keep every single topic in the course content. So this is calling out some of the high level, the important, the tools and the topics that we are going to cover. But there will be few other tools which are not even mentioned in the course content as well will be covered, because those are anyway part of the projects. Those are part of the discussion to cover up the real-time scenarios, guys, right? That's the reason, right? Well, so now going back to the thing. So I would like to go over with the couple of slides that I have here to talk about the today's agenda, right? And again, once again, welcome to the SRE with the Modern DevOps Practitioner Training Program conducting by the Valaxy Technologies, right? So the reason why I'm uh, keeping this title is this course, I would like to make it as a generic, which will help you to work as a SRE engineer role as well as the DevOps engineer role as well. Right? Those are the two big job roles that can be fit for you. Yes, right? That's how this is. and I'm planning to keep some of the modern or the new tools in the DevOps, and hence I'm calling it as a modern DevOps tools, because the 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 legacy, or I would say the previously, the way how the people were using the DevOps tooling is different, and nowadays right, the way how the DevOps tooling is using is different. So I'm just trying to keep the latest content always for you guys, right? So coming back to the highlights of this program, right? Uh, the sessions will be from Monday to Thursday. Let me do a small correction for this, because we have now changed the timings, guys. Well, so the sessions will be conducted from Monday to Thursday, 3:30 p.m. IST. And of course, the timings may sound odd for some people, because we are conducting these sessions globally, right? And the people will be come from the different time zones, not from just IST. We have people here from IST, CST, GMT, right, EST, and various other time zones as well across the world. Hence, the reason to have a match, or to have a time that is works for most of the folks, we have come up with a new time zone here, like new timings for these sessions, right? And each session will last for 2 hours of time, right? And again, based on the topic that we have, based on the the density of the topic, right? The session may go for 1.5 hours to 2 hours based on the things, right? And each session, whatever we are covering, we will be sharing you the notes out of this, so the important key notes that you need to follow, right? And there will be some real-time projects that will be get covered at end of this program. And again, right, not like you have done with your complete course then go with the real time. So these projects may covered at middle of this course as well, as and when we done with some of the key discussion which are needed for to get implement a project, we will be get into that and start discussing about that project as well, right? That's how it works, right? And to enhance or to motivate you guys to be more hands-on and expertise, right, we will be coming up with the weekly assignments. Every week I'm going to give you an assignment, and some of the details how to solve the assignment, the kind of the important high level steps for you, so you can, right, start implementing that assignment to get more hands-on, and come back to me if you have any questions, guys. And all the sessions that I'm conducting will be recorded, and you will be getting an access to these recording videos, and the videos will be available for you guys as a minimum 1 year, and is not mean that the access will be revoked after that. Your access will be remain, but 1 year is what we are committing here at this time to give you the access. Just that usually, right, any course content or any tooling or any technology, right, will keep having some kind of changes from the market expectations, right, once in every 6 months or once in a year, based on the tool, right? So so you need to do little more you know uh, improvements to the tooling and the technologies as well, right? So that's the reason I thought like 1 year is the good time for having these videos. Later on, you need to upgrade the content by contacting us and getting the latest, right? So of course that has different terms, okay? And resume preparation is definitely a important one, right? So after the session gets completed, then you will need to send an email to us and asking for a resume, and that's where we'll try to help you out on resume, and we'll be giving the reply back, right? And based on the candidate interest, we do conduct the mock interviews, but whoever has asked for right, the mock, then we will be taking the mock interviews for those candidates, because mock interview is not something that we can come up and take any time that we like it, right? You should be ready for that. We should be prepared for that, right? So on ad hoc basis, whoever has requested for the mock, and we will be taking the mock interviews, right? That helps you guys to understand how the real-time interviews will be there, how we need to get prepared for that, right? That's definitely help you guys. Okay, and the one-to-one sessions will be conducted just to know more about your individual career paths, right, and helping you out if you have any specific, you know, a question that you need to ask us, right, just to understand your career path and how you need to prepare and other things related to the course and the career, right? Good to know. So now coming back to the tooling, right? In order to cover this whole SRE with the DevOps training program, right? So we are actually providing a couple of resources. These resources will help you to, you know, get motivated as well as help you to prepare as well, guys, right? Because based on the experience that I have, right, just giving a delivery, just talking about a course topics, right, will not be enough, right? You need to have some motivation, you need to have some resources to prepare, especially we are connecting through online mode, and definitely you need more information to be prepared well, right? So what we are doing, right, this is called as a, let me give you some, right? So here you can see that the DevOps tracker. So what I'm doing, right, every topic that we are discussing on every day will be put into this tracker sheet, and this tracker sheet will help you on what topics that we have discussed, and the related link that you need to follow here, and the important commands that you maybe need to worry about or need to be know to implement any implementations from your side, right? So all these different resources will be provided along with the list of the topics that we have discussed that help you guys to revisit back what was discussed in previous lectures, and read more about them, and do practice more about them, that help you guys. And along with that, I will be actually putting some of the advanced sessions list as well. What is that we are going to cover in the next 2 3 days of time. So that way, whoever is having the time, enough time, can look into the upcoming topics as well. Be prepared well in advance. That help you to ask me the right questions during the session as well, right? That's how this tracker sheet will work. Well, so we can see some of the steps here, and these steps will help you in order to understand the sequencing of the steps that we need to implement it, right? So in a text manner there. So apart from that, the weekly assignments that we are giving, these assignments will be put into here, and we can work on these assignments and start doing some implementation from your side, and come back to us if you have any specific questions, guys. And we are also giving some of the links that you need to be follow with, right, to explore more about the topics. So these resources will definitely help you guys, right? And you can see the assignments are actually uploaded it into our own web portal called devopsrealtime.com, right? So this is where you can see a couple of projects here, and a couple of materials here, right? So we will be giving you the links, which link that you need to follow at which time based on the content that we are covering on each day basis. And right, then you'll be getting the details from this portal and start implementing the required projects, right? And come back to me if you have any specific questions. These projects are way advanced, having a more real-time architectural manner, right? And all the implementation steps as well for you guys, right? That's how this will help you. Cool. Now we are also maintaining the tracker here in order to just to see that who is doing what. I mean to say, we are just giving the projects, right? The weekly projects, but we need to understand how many of you are actually implementing them, completing them. This is just a tracker to see the progress of you guys, that at least makes motivated us in order to give you more content and understanding how effectively that you guys are, doing the preparation. That's how this will work. And of course, definitely all these are the resources that we are providing from our side, but yeah, it's your responsibility to just follow and start up, filling this sheet and executing the tasks and going through our tracker, right? Definitely. Well, and while you are actually doing the practice, or while you are, preparing something, you may get into a question, right? And you can always ask me over the chat window in the WhatsApp group that we are going to create. And still, if you think that this is something that needs to be raised, need to have a bigger discussion, you can always put your question in the question tracker sheet. This is another sheet that we are maintaining where you can put your question here, and those questions will be discussed in our daily lectures. So that way I can address any question that you have, guys, right? Because sometimes your question may not be tackled easily in the group chat, right? It may need a broader discussion. So whichever the question that you have, can put it here and will be taken care of, right? So basically these resources will help you just to not to leave any question open-ended, right? And beyond that, we are actually giving you the cheat sheet, which is having some common important links that you need to be prepared before going for an interview. So you can go through with all of these links and gain more knowledge, right, about the content that we discussed. So this will help you guys. I have extracted and collected more important the the materials for you guys to go through, and the sample code that you need to follow, and this will definitely help you guys, right? And yeah, so this is how it is. Now let me going back to the session again. So in order to deliver the real-time practices, we are actually using the @shopper.com as a shopping portal real-time application, guys. And we will be targeting to achieve this application right by end of this course program. So we will try to learn how do we work as a DevOps engineer to build and deploy, manage the applications to have these real-time shopping portal web applications are working in general, right? That's how we are taking this as a real-time example, and we'll try to work towards that, and that's how we can achieve or can get a real-time experience or understanding how it works in the real time, right? That's how it works, guys. And I'm sure you might be having a question that what DevOps is doing, why the DevOps is got a little more popular, and why everyone is actually looking towards the DevOps, right? So let me give you very short information what it is doing, right? So here, let's say the @shopper.com is one of the retail-based web application, right? And we need to ensure that this website is working always, so that my customers can come and shop in this website to purchase the products, right? But how would this website is working? So definitely a developer should start working on the coding and create a code, and that code is the one who will be responsible to give you this type of a website, right? So once the developer write a code, the code should run in any one of the servers or the systems, right? So when the developers writing a code, the code should be get put into the server to start work, make it working. But the code cannot put into the servers just like that, right? So before me putting the the code into the server should be configured properly, right? There are some couple of steps that are there in preparing the server which are ready for running the code. So that portion will be done by the SRE engineers who are responsible now to create a servers, configure the servers, right? Install the required stuff there and prepare the servers to be ready for running this code. So that portion is done by the SRE. You guys will be learning those skills as well to understand the SRE responsibilities, how they are actually making the infrastructure or the servers ready and configure them. Then, in order to take the code from the developers and deploying or running in the server is something the DevOps will do. Again, we can't take the code and put into the server just like that. There are some steps that we need to follow, right? The DevOps architects will basically design a strategy how a code can be taken and can be put into the servers. There are a couple of steps are there, couple of mechanisms that we need to follow. All those strategies will be defined by an architects, right? And you need to follow as an engineer and follow this whole number of steps, and then you deploy that code or keep the code into the servers. Usually the DevOps architect will go away once he has finalized the approach. Then the DevOps engineer will come into the picture to start implementing these steps, these automation steps, right? And you do some, transformations to the code and you put into the servers. So here you will be learning as a DevOps engineer what are all the different automation strategies that we will be following to deploy this code into the servers, right? That's how we'll be pretty much focusing on a SRE responsibility as well as the DevOps engineer responsibility as well. In general, these two are the two different job roles in the market, but yeah, we are having the similarity between these two. So we are trying to cover up the course content matching for these two different roles, and we can focus which role that you are more interested on, right? Good. Once the code is deployed there, and that's how this will be responsible now to give you the website like this. But once the website is up and running, then later you may experience some issues in the website, right? Let's say you are trying to purchase one product from the online shopping portal and that is not working for some reason. There is some issue with your server, with the code, whatever in the backend, right? So you will be learning, right? How do we work as a DevOps support engineer as well? These support engineers will basically monitor the applications, right? And if any issues are there, will be fixing them. That's how it works. So that means yes, you'll be working or learning here how a DevOps support engineer will be monitoring the applications as well, which is a different job role in general in the real time. So you'll be learning those skills as well, kind of the similar skill set what the engineer and the SRE will also be having, and that's how it works, right? And why do we have such a course content which is matching for SRE, a DevOps engineer, and the DevOps support engineer? Because most of the skill set is same, but the way how you are using those skill set in the real time will be differ. And again, I'm sure the folks who are here, right, having a fresher background or having a 5 years of experience in the IT and trying to switch your career to the DevOps, or maybe having 10 years of experience too, just to cover up all the different scenarios of you guys with the different diversity background that you have. We are having, right, this kind of course content so that it match up for the fresher, it match up for the 2 years guys who are actually wanted to get into the DevOps to start doing your support engineer role, having 5 years of experience guys who can or who wanted to work as an engineer role, DevOps engineer role, or SRE roles, right? That's how. So this will definitely works for all the different backgrounds of the things, right? Well, obviously the next question that you may be having, that what are the different major tools that we do cover here, right? So the Terraform is the automation engine for the AWS cloud environments that we are using here. So we pretty much focus on Terraform, AWS, Linux, Docker, and the Kubernetes case. And even in the real time, even in the current market trend, the Terraform, AWS, Linux, Docker, Kubernetes are playing the big game or big role. So it should be expertise on all of these. So pretty much we are focusing on all of these tools, right? Very importantly in in-depth knowledge, guys. These are the primary tools. And the supporting tools like Git, Grafana, Prometheus, MySQL, database, Fluentd, Argo, and Kibana, Jira tools, Helm, Maven, the Jenkins. We also cover all of these, uh, but these you don't need to have a very expertise knowledge, guys. These are just a supporting tools to work as a DevOps roles. But yes, uh, as per the need, how much that you need to learn on all these tools, so we will be definitely covering them up. And overall, right, in general in IT, we actually measure the depth of the knowledge that we are having as level 1, level 2, level 3, level 4 kind of. So in this course, we will be going up to the level 3 skill, guys, because any tool that you take, it's like endless, right? You can learn any, right? But L3 is the level of skill that we are going to achieve in this particular course, guys. Yeah, cool. And of course, the weekly projects and the capstone project that I talked about, the projects which are integrating multiple tools to know the real time will also be covered as part of this. And definitely, right, just to give you one simple thought here, right? Learning the technology is different, and performing that in the interviews and working in the real time will definitely be a different case, right? So you may be learning the technology, but you don't know how we can transform this knowledge into a interviewers, and how do we work in the real time, because some process may changes and some, the way how a real time is using for their use cases will be different. How do we achieve that skill, and how do we get, or how do we success in the interview as well? So what I feel, right, at least based on the experience that we have, right? So the people who are learning these technologies are learning them, but not putting much focus in preparing towards the interview scope, towards the real-time scope. So that's the reason I actually thought of coming up with a different session that is all about the interview preparation training program. In the sense, after the end of this current batch, after end of this whole sessions to learn the technology as alone, then I'll give you some kind of a tips, tricks, some real-time use cases as like a interview preparation kind that will definitely help you guys to understand how these will be in an interview, how these tools will be in a real time. But definitely, right, to get into that stage to understand the real time and the interview world, you should be get familiar with all of these technology first, right? So that's the reason I plan to cover that as a additional uh, additional sessions. I'm not mixing them up into the current DPT, guys. So the current course content will majorly focus on the weekly project, capstone projects, and the technology stack, right? And maybe some of the tips related to the interview. But the detailing interview sessions, the detailing real-time use cases will be discussed later part as a different course content altogether, I would say, not along with the DPT. I would say like once these sessions are done, Maybe I will give you 10 days of time for preparing the technology. Then I'll start with the interview tips and tricks. That way, right, we can understand what I'm trying to talk about. Because without learning this technology, you can't learn how it will be in use by the real time, because in the real time we will be doing the integration in the sense to achieve one single use case. We need to use Linux, AWS, Terraform, Kubernetes, Git, Docker, right? Pretty much we are using all of them in one single code or in one single scenario to achieve the real-time use case. Without you knowing this technology, you can't understand the real-time use cases, right? So that's the reason, once we're done with this, take a break of, right, some time, and prepare well about the technology. Then I'll take the real-time no scenario based interview preparation things for you. Now, you have a question that do we need a scripting for this course, right? So I would say the scripting is not a mandatory skill at this time, but having the scripting skill will definitely add a weightage to your resume, guys. And Python is the one which I do recommend having a scripting knowledge, right? So I would say SRE people are actually using the Python little more than the DevOps engineers, but having some sort of knowledge about the Python scripting is definitely adds the weightage for your profile. I do highly recommend now to start keeping the Python as well in your profile, guys. Maybe if there are some folks here in the current session who are actually taking the course from me in the previous batches, probably if you look at, right, previously I think back to 4 or 5 batches, I was saying the Python is kind of optional, but based on the current trend, based on the current market, the Python also kind of the important skill. That's where we are actually including the Python as well. But so the Python also will be conducted as a different course for you, as an additional bonus course, guys, not as part of the DPT, because learning the Python is altogether a different strategy, guys, not like a DevOps tool set. Hence the reason I don't want to mix up with the Python as part of the same batch. So once the DevOps batch is completed for you guys, then we will come up with the different slot for discussing on the Python scripting. As hence, we are actually calling out that the Python and the interview preparation, these two things we're actually offering as a bonus courses. Now you'll understand, right, what is bonus course now, because these two are not covered as part of the DPT course itself. So after the DPT is completed, having a break of a week or 10 days based on the requirement, we'll come up with these two as a bonus courses for you, and we'll start delivering these for you. And we are not going to charge for these bonus courses. These will be a free for you guys. So whoever has enrolled for the current batch, which we are going to start today as a demonstration, right, the Python and the interview preparation will become the bonus for you. And I'm actually preparing the interview preparation tips and tricks, and this is what I'm having in my mind at this time. So I'm actually preparing the different use cases in real time, how it will be used each and every technology. If you look at that, how the Kubernetes will be used in the real time, how the Jenkins will be used in the real time, what are the different places where we use this to solve the problems, right? So I'm just coming up with some kind of a checklist, the different use cases, and I'll talk about these use cases. This will help you how it will be in a real time, how we can use this information in the interview preparation, right? And all these things. This is how I'm preparing some stuff here, and will be covering up these things in the interview, preparation sessions, guys. So I'm actually improving the process in here just to do keeping that the market expectations, guys. That's how it is, right? So if you need to crack the interview, definitely you need to have this kind of additional information, not just learning the technology alone. That's the reason I'm coming up with the more resources for you, more information for you guys. And you all definitely know by now how the market is there and how the expectations will be there and how the interviews will be happening, what kind of the skills that you should be familiar with, right? So just to meet those things, and this is how the course content is actually planned here, right? So the next, definitely the question for you guys, right? How long this whole course content will go? So I'm thinking at this time, the 50 working days will be enough to cover up this the DevOps course content alone. I'm not including the bonus lectures here, guys, as bonus lectures are definitely a kind of a new course altogether, though we are not charging for you. So the DevOps itself will take 50 working days to cover up the technical aspect, and it may vary plus or minus 10 days, obviously, right? But this is what I'm thinking at this time based on the batches that I have delivered so far, right? Now, definitely the DevSecOps is one thing that is keep coming as a buzzword in the market. So I'm planning to include the DevSecOps tools as well in the current batch. I think the latest course content that I have prepared with some adjustment and the enhancement, I do see some kind of the continuous security kind of the tooling as well. So we definitely look towards the DevSecOps related things as well, how that differs with the general DevOps and what advantages that we get by adding the security in your DevOps, which call as a DevSecOps as well. Yes, you do get some kind of insight around that world as well, guys, right? So pretty much I'm trying to cover up everything that you need to go and start hitting the interviews with the confidence. Well, so now let me come back to this screen. So there are multiple tools and the multiple things that we have planned, right? So we are actually having the strategy in which sequence that we need to start learning all of these technologies, guys, right? So we get start with the infrastructure side. That's where we start with the AWS and the Linux skill. Then the Terraform for automating them. Then as a step number two, we do focus on some of the automation, which is actually the Terraform automation to deploy the cloud, right? That way you will become the cloud engineer. The cloud engineer is one of the role in the real time who will actually take care of only the AWS related part. Including the Terraform skill, you will become the cloud automation engineer. Then we will be focusing on the Docker and the Kubernetes related stuff to know how we can use these technologies to deploy the application. That's where you will become the SRE engineer or the platform engineer. Or these are the different job titles that you usually see in the market, guys. Each job title is kind of a similar but have a slight difference in terms of the skill set, in terms of the responsibilities. So I just wanted to tell you that the course that we are learning here will be fit for the different job titles as well, and you should be familiar with these job titles by end of this course, and you will understand how you can put forward your resume and how you can present yourself to the interviewers based on the requirements that you have. And we'll be discussing about the Git and the Spring Boot applications, the Jenkins, right? So and then the Argo CD and the Jenkins for deployments. So that is where you will become the DevOps engineer. So if you know all of these skills, then you'll become a DevOps engineer, guys. Then we'll talk about the monitoring tools, the logging tools like Kibana, Prometheus, Grafana, right? So and some additional skills like databases, right? That's where you will now become the complete DevOps engineer with having all the mandatory independent tool set as well. So with that, you will get the technology stack. But to get more expertise on that, as I said, you'll get the weekly assignments, and you will be getting the help with the projects, and you'll get the Jira Agile process. That is actually the how you are using all of these in the real time. What will be the process that you need to follow in the real time? All those will be get covered, and the resume help, which is mock interviews, which are part of the placement assistance kind of, right? And you get a support during the batch time to help your technical queries. That's where finally the goal is you become the DevOps engineer professional, right? Which is actually including the multiple different job roles as well along with that. So as I said, all these are the different high level tools which we need to focus very much, but there are many other tools topics that we are covering up as per the course content that I delivered in our indexing, guys. Yes, so hope this is excited for you guys, and yes, we are there here to give you all the resources, the details, but it's now you need to put forward your efforts and maintain the same goal until you reach the level, guys. Then we can achieve this, right? So just to keep it one more time, right? When we say a DevOps real time, so the thing is, the one side we should understand the technology and expertise on implementing the weekly projects and the main caption projects, and the other side we should understand how the roles and responsibilities, right, and the tell about yourself in interviews, right, and how to perform the interviews, and understanding the real-time process, which is called as a Scrum and Jira process. So this is the non-technical aspect of all, right? If you know the technical plus the non-technical process oriented, how it will be in a real time, the use cases, that's where you will definitely crack the things, guys. Good. So again, these are the different projects that I talked about that we are going to discuss in the current batch. So the same projects are listed down in your course content as well. So we may be not understanding these projects at this time, but yeah, it makes sense out of once we get into the discussions, guys. These are the high level projects and the tooling that we are actually using, right, to deliver them. All right. Now you may be having the question about me, right? So this is PR Reddy, and I'm your instructor for this whole DevOps practitioner training program, as well as the bonus lectures also will be covered by me, right? And I have 14 years of experience in the IT world, where I have managed to solve the complex problems to the customers, where I have included the Linux, the AWS cloud, and the DevOps, Python, and the developer role as well, right? So currently I'm working as a DevOps architect in one of the MNC company, and yes, that's my professional side of world, guys. And regarding the training, I'm there in the training since last 10 years now, 10 to 11 years now. Have delivered a couple of batches, hundreds of students so far, and I'm coming up with the modelized, the course index and the strategy based on the experience that I have, how it can be improved further to make it a win-and-win situation for everyone. That's how my course content and the strategy will be keep changing. The process will be keep changing, right, based on the feedbacks that we do receive and based on the current market expectations. That's how the things will be, guys. But again, all these things will be made possible only if you guys are having the same amount of the zeal that I have, and giving the proper echo to me, and walk towards the end of the course along with me, right, with the proper steps, right? So now, if we have any specific question that you need to ask me, can come up, And if you are really wanted to know about the timings, that you can see that. So the batch will start from today. That means today the demonstration session, right? So the sessions will get start with coming Monday, guys, right? So I think that will be August 5th, right? The sessions will be on 6 a.m. EST, which is 3:30 p.m. IST, which is 10 a.m. GMT. These are the time zones that I have here. So if you have any specific confusion about the time zones and the time zone that you are in, probably just check with the admin once, guys. And you can see the admin contact here. So how to reach and get clarify your questions, and just enroll for this course, and get added yourself to the WhatsApp group of this current batch, and get the daily notifications about the batch progress. And yeah, that's how we can get started with this program and become a DevOps engineer, guys. Right? So since now we are actually making the course content as Monday to Thursday, so every Thursday I'm going to give you the weekly projects, right? So I have done a significant change to the timelines compared to the previous batches, as just to catch up the market, guys, right? Because you should also have the time for you to prepare and come up with the or ready for the next sessions, right? So Monday to Thursday, so I'm thinking that the remaining 3 days of time will be enough to prepare the content that we covered, do the practicing, do the implement the weekly assignment, come back with fresh mind with the the questions if any on next Monday, guys. So that's the strategy. Yeah. So that means the Thursday I'll be giving the weekly assignment for you guys to do implementation.
Hi, I have some questions. I mean,
Mhm.
yeah, actually, my name is Sini. I'm currently living in Dubai. So, for this course, what is the level of, coding background required for this, to complete the course?
Right. If you say if your question is regarding the prerequisite, I would say no. That means you don't need to have any prior knowledge about the coding to get into this course, because I do cover everything from very scratch. You don't need to have any kind of the prior skill. Now coming back to the other side of the question, right? So the expectation is you should be having at least one scripting knowledge, right? At least to weight your resume, to add a weightage to the resume. The Python is recommended. That's where I'm adding the bonus lectures for you guys. So so that means it's not a scripting, sorry, it's not a coding, but it's a scripting, guys. There's a slight difference there. The coding is basically kind of the developer role, where the Java and other things which we don't need. We need only the scripting side of world, which is the Python, and that will be covered as a bonus lecture for you guys.
Okay, and one more thing, this bonus Python course, how much time that will take? Like 2 weeks
The
or 1 week,
Python
something like
course, the Python course will be get conducted as a 40 hours course. So it
40 hours.
includes
Okay.
the, yeah, it includes the, again, end-to-end a complete API development also will be involved, including the APIs, REST API development, the scripting side of world, everything will be captured in the Python course. I think I have the
Okay, so
content for Python as well. I'll definitely share with you guys.
the Python also will start from the scratch, right? Because I don't have any knowledge about the Python as well.
Absolutely.
Yeah, okay.
So any course usually that I at least deliver, right, will be covered from scratch, thinking that most of you folks are not knowing any of the basics before. And this is the Python course content that I have with you guys. The Python including not only just scripting, some of the API development also involved here, just to understand how it will be in real time. And it has significant course content, guys. I would say this is not a basic, this is just a complete Python course altogether.
So, and one more
Hey,
thing.
hi.
Uh, Hello.
Hello.
Yes, go ahead, please.
Yeah. Yeah, one more thing is the timing actually currently working. So the timing is, I cannot attend in that timing. So I can attend, the recording class in the evening, something like that, right? So that if there is any doubt, I can contact you in WhatsApp as well, right?
Well, so I have asked the admin to give you the information who are having a concerns like this. What I'm thinking, right? So of course, based on the number of people, so I'm thinking that whoever is not having the matching time to attend the live sessions can go through the recording. But again, right, if you are going through only the recording videos, if you get any specific question, you can't ask me or the chat window for all the questions, right? Sometimes the question may be bigger, it may need a lot of broader discussion. Sometimes maybe I need to show you some scenarios to keep you understood, right? So yes, definitely you can ask any question over the chat window. You can put your question in the question tracker. But beyond that, what I'm thinking, I can have one session get connected with your time zone or whatever the time zone that works for us, right? So weekly once, I'll try to connect and talk with you guys and try to solve your questionnaires.
Hey, hi, Reddy. I want to ask you one thing. What will be the training setup? You will teach on the recorded, or you will show us only theory or practical also? How you will go?
No, this is a complete a practical session. That means, as we are
Can you
speaking now, right?
show? Yeah, can you
Mhm.
show your
Sorry.
training setup?
Uh, okay, you want me to show now?
Yeah, at least I
There's
can
nothing.
like on VM or on vSphere, or what kind of setup you will
Mhm.
use.
So as we are in the cloud world, right, nowadays, right, there is nothing like a VM or the VMware or the virtualization that you need to use. We are on the AWS cloud environment. So every lab setup, every implementation will be done on the AWS account. So I will be using the online, AWS is anyway online, right? You all know. So I will be logging into my AWS account here, right? And I will be start showing you how to use this AWS services, right? How to work with the AWS to start creating all of these resources. That's one thing. In your local
So
laptop, yeah, in your local
it will
laptop,
be
you
the
only need
practical and theory also, right? In same session.
exactly 100%, right? So in your local, you just need only the Visual Studio Code. Apart from that, you don't need any other tools, I would say. So using this Visual Studio Code, we are trying to run your Terraform and the Jenkins code or Kubernetes, whatever. So if you ask me like a lab setup, I would say the AWS Cloud UI that you see here and with the Visual Studio Code which is in your local. That is good enough to complete your all the scenarios, guys. And I have the beautiful slides that I have to explain the architecture of the projects, and then I'll start taking them to the implementation page to start implementing them right in the AWS account that I have exactly. So that way you'll get the complete the practical thing as well, right? Probably probably I don't know if I have the way to give you some of the access to the previous batches of videos. I need to check with that, but yeah, it will be like that. So probably uh, I can take one of the slide that I have. This is how I will be explaining about the theoretical architecture of each and every topic that I have, and I'll take them to the implementation from my Visual Studio Code in the AWS UI as well, guys. That's how it works. So these are the couple of presentations that I prepared myself to explain the concepts, right? Because it's very tricky to understand sometimes, right? Without having a proper PPT, it will be not win and win. So for each scenario, I have the different slide to explain how it works, how the connectivity integration, and the same thing will be get implemented. And this is how the Visual Studio Code will be there in my local. Let's say you see here that DPT12. This is the code that I have used for the previous batches to execute this from my VS Code and going through this step-by-step line, right? And showing you how can get this implemented, guys.
Can you please share in Kubernetes what all you will teach?
I think I have already given you the course content. Again, probably uh, probably it's not possible to give you a step-by-step concept names, but what I can do, right? This is the course content that I covered in the last batch, right? Probably I'll share this. That way to help you to understand what topics that are created. You see, right? This is like very detailed manner, right? So, for example, if I go to the Kubernetes here, give me a second. Yeah. So if I go to the Kubernetes here, we can see a detailed indexing here, what topics will be covered in the Kubernetes. Maybe if you are interested on these, I'll share this previous batch course content, the tracker basically, right? Because tracker has very detailed pin to pin, what is discussed in every day, right? Which we can't keep it in the general index that we do share, because the index will have a high level name. For example, the index may have only the, let's say, the EKS, but inside the EKS, what a lot of different things will be covered. All these things will not be in the index in general, right? So yeah, I can share this link. And as I said, that the current batch will have a little more enhancements just to catch up the market, guys.
Are you covering any Ansible?
Sorry.
Right, so
Are
I
you
have a
covering
question.
Ansible?
Ansible is not covered, just that we are not using Ansible as much in the real time as a DevOps engineer, and there is no use case of Ansible, especially when we are on the AWS or in the cloud environment, guys. So I was covering the Ansible in the previous lectures by considering the scope of Ansible in the interviews or in the real time these days. So we just skipped that tool.
Right, can you hear
What
me?
about the Splunk? Are you covering Splunk?
Splunk is not covered. In the place of Splunk, we covered the Prometheus, Grafana, and Kibana stacks. It's kind of
All right.
what
Not
Splunk is doing.
ELKS.
The same thing will be done by these tools as well. So yes, these will be covered as an alternative to the Splunk.
So for people in time zone of maybe EST, are we gonna have like a separate WhatsApp chat where we can ask questions?
As I said, right, weekly once I can connect with. Uh, Again, keeping the people who are actually not having the time to join the live sessions. So considering them, maybe I'll connect once in a week to talk to them and discuss about in general what questions that you do have. And probably I'll try to show you some of the scenarios on my laptop by doing the screen share. That's how I can spend some time to the people who are actually not, uh,
Is it like a one-on-one basis or another class for people that
Not
have not
really
been
one-on-one.
available?
I would say, let's say there are 10 people who are actually not finding the time to join the live session. Maybe for all of them, I can have one session to talk to them and solve your questionnaire. And again, right, let's say this is the question tracker, right? So whoever is going through the recording sessions without the live can put your questions in the question tracker. Then once in a week, we'll connect and we'll talk, we'll start discussing about your questionnaires.
When you say you meet once a week, is it like maybe like during the weekend or still during
Uh,
Monday to Thursday?
I think it should be definitely weekend, because Monday to Thursday, maybe I would say Friday, right? Because Monday to Thursday is something that we are on your daily lectures. So Friday I have a time, so maybe Friday I can spend some time to the folks who are having this or not finding that the time to join the live, and even anyone can join as well who wanted to interest on this general questionnaire kind of discussion. Yeah.
Will you be sharing the PPTs and other materials?
I would say the materials I'm sharing, I think I have the PDF with me. I'm just opening one of the PDF here, right? So this is the PDF document for the Kubernetes. I got this prepared by our team. So I'll be sharing this material content with you guys. In fact, I was actually sharing this content as a website format, but I have some technical issues with the website. So hence the reason I'm sharing these PDF documents with you guys. Pretty much this PDF has significant important keynotes, and you can see some of the diagrams, architecturals, everything in the explanation manner. That means I'm not sharing my PPT as is as a PPT, but whatever is there in the PPT is there in these materials as well, with the extra information in the different manner of explanation. That's it. Yeah, this is how it works.
All
Hello.
Yes, Philip.
Yes. So, actually, I live in the United States of America, and I got in contact. I've been in contact with someone on WhatsApp, and he gave me a schedule that says the classes are gonna go on from Monday to Friday, and it's gonna be 3:30 Indian Standard Time to 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So I want to know, is that actually the time? Because I hear you saying that it's gonna be Monday to Thursday, and I don't know if there's a change in the timing because I've taken time off
Well,
my job for this.
mhm.
So I want to
Well,
make sure that,
probably. Yeah, I got you. So
yeah.
Monday to Friday is the timings that we have conducted all the previous batches. Okay, now we have changed this the times recently. Probably that when you have got this information, that time it could be the previous schedule. Yes, we have changed the schedule to Monday to Thursday, 3:30 p.m. IST, which will be 6 a.m. EST, Eastern Time
Okay.
Zone. It will be
N- uh,
6 a.m. Eastern Time Zone.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure that the time hasn't changed, because I've taken time off my job just for this. So I want to make sure that, okay, the time, because I don't mind 6 a.m., I could do the 6 a.m. So I just wanted to make sure that, okay, we're on the same page.
Yes, that's true. 6 a.m.
All right.
Monday to Thursday.
And also, one last question. I have no background in IT. Okay, I had my first degrees in human resource management. So I want to find out after the 50 days of this training, will I be able to be confident? Will I be able to go out there and call myself like a professional or whatever it is? Like, would I be able actually to fit into the job market with this training?
Well, I would say that at least from my perspective, I'll be considering that everyone of you are completely new to the IT, not having any kind of a background. That's
Yeah.
where I actually start with my training. But whoever is having some technical educational background will easily understand. But whoever is not having the technical educational background may feel difficult to understand. You just need to put a little more extra time, extra effort, and come back to me with a lot of questions. Then you'll definitely get through.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
I've done my
Uh,
BCA in India. Okay, so I've learned many languages. So this is a new language. So it will it be a difficult, challenging, or what is it?
So this is not a language per se. I understood like when you say language, usually the programming languages like a Java, Node.js, or any other, right? So the
Yeah.
DevOps is not a language, I would say. This is all about the tooling, right? How are you going to interconnect all of these different tools like Terraform, Jenkins, Kubernetes, right? How do we connect them together to make it a single flow, and how we can achieve the real-time use cases? That's how it works. So here you will be more focusing on understanding the tool and what problem that the tool is solving, how it will be using in the real time, and the related things. And if you ask me, it will be easy enough compared to any other developer roles. But the only, I have to agree that, right? The only problem with the DevOps, right? It has many tools. That's only the reason. But apart from that, it will be kind of easy. Like
Oh,
you need to have some sort of knowledge on the different tools here, right? Let's say you need to understand the Terraform, AWS, Docker, Git, MySQL, Helm, like that. The many tools are there. So having some basic idea of all the tools will sometimes make it difficult. Apart from that, the execution of these tools, working with these tools will definitely be easy compared to the actual developer roles.
okay. Thank you very much.
Hi, this is
Hi,
Sri Lakshmi.
Uh,
Yes, Pranila.
Sorry. Yeah. Uh, Actually, I'm a developer with 8 years experience. So I just want to know, like, by taking this course, how I can project myself in the market, like, as a full stack developer, or how I can project myself.
So if you ask me why the DevOps is got popular, at least I'm not saying it is popular, at least from my side, right? You all know that why the DevOps is here, right?
Mm-hmm.
So definitely the DevOps is a mandate skill in the market as of today, irrespective of your background. The reason is the developers should know the DevOps, how it works, or else they can't write a code. The DevOps should know how the developers are working and how they are writing the code, or else they can't take the code and process it. That's how the interconnect is there. So this skill is becoming a mandate for everyone these days. At least the DevOps people will be expertise, but the developers will be having at least some of the knowledge about the DevOps at least, or else they can't write a code, right? Now
Okay.
you should understand what I'm saying. Let's say you are a full
Yeah.
stack developer, you know how to write a simple JavaScript code, but how the code will be get deployed it into the Kubernetes. Let's say if I ask
Mhm.
you, hey, can you write a simple Java code which I wanted to run it in Kubernetes? Now you can't write a Java code just like that without you understanding the Kubernetes architecture or how it works in the Kubernetes, at least some basics. Because
Okay.
definitely you should agree with me that when you're writing the code, right, as a developer, the code will run in which platform is it really matters. If it is on premises server, if it is on Kubernetes, if it is on a virtual server, some parameters will keep changing the way how we are supplying it for you, right? So those key points you should understand. Then only you will know that the variables has to be hard coded, or it has to come from different places, or it will come as an environment variable, or it will be available on so and so file, correct? So all
Yeah.
those will keep changing from a platform to platform. Without them to understand, you can't write a code as well, right? So that way
Yes.
it is becoming a mandate skill. But if you are going towards the developer role as a full stack developer role, you just need some of the basics of all these tools, not like a very expertise like a DevOps engineer.
Okay.
Right. I have another question.
Hi.
So some of these servers may need keys to log into them. Are you going to be teaching us like other vaults for keeping secret keys so we can connect to different servers?
Well, so at least from the lab practice perspective, right, we are heavily depending on the AWS. So I will be doing the complete practical execution of this course and the topics on my AWS account. And you all can do the practice in your AWS account. You can create your own AWS account by registering a account with AWS and start using that AWS account for your practices. That means
Yeah, I
I
know.
don't need to
I know
share.
that. I'm saying, what about the key? The key you use, the key we are going to be using to log into different servers. Sometimes during automation process, we might need to, put some secret keys or something to log into the server and carry out some automation. Um, I don't know if you get what I'm saying, but there are like vaults or some places where you can keep your secret keys to make sure that you don't expose your keys while uploading your files to GitHub or things like that.
Right?
Yeah, so I want to know, like, are you going to be teaching us like how to keep our secret
Got
keys, our EC2 secret keys, how to keep it
got you.
secret? Yeah.
Got you. Yes, definitely, right. That's part of our security strategies that we are covering up. So as you said, in the real time, the people are using the HashiCorp Vault or Ansible Vault, or the AWS Secrets Manager itself is one of the vault kind of. So we will be using any one of these strategies or the tools to keep the secrets in place and fetch the secrets from there securely. Yes, that's true. So I'll be covering up that as well. How do we use this secret handling in the real time?
What will be the per day duration, like 1 hour, 2 hour?
It will be 1.5 hours to 2 hours based on the topic that we have, based on the discussion, how it is goes. But yeah, it will be 1.5 hours to 2 hours. That's what I'm thinking at this time.
From
So
the
Uh,
last
initially,
from the
sir,
last
I'm from
batches
the
you
Delhi.
taught,
sorry.
from the last batches you taught, did you the last people ever maybe feel like the courses are too much to assimilate all at once, maybe for beginners? Like, is it too much to take in Monday to Thursday? And, sometimes they may not understand what you teach on a Monday and they may need some time to, study it. But then again, there's a Tuesday lecture, Thursday, sometimes a lot of people don't assimilate that fast. So, what do you have for people like that?
Actually, that is one reason why I'm coming up with Monday to Thursday now, right? At least we'll get one other extra day to cover up the topics, right? Let's say if you are not able to catch up the Monday session to the Tuesday, of course, I can't give the break on every session to catch up the things, but yeah, we need to put a little more effort on that. But yeah, so let's say you are not able to catch up the things on Monday session by Tuesday. Yes, we need to go with that flow, and at least over the weekend, now I'm giving one extra day, right? So we need to go back to the previous recorded videos and do your homework, prepare well, and come back to me if any questions, ask me over the chat window, and at least be stabilized by yourself all those week of sessions by the next Monday.
Okay, and are we going to be having like a group chat to communicate with the
Yes.
people we are learning the same batch? Is it going to be on WhatsApp?
Yes, it will be a WhatsApp, and I also will be there in the WhatsApp for you to assist along with other team.
All right. Okay.
So I'm
Uh,
from the
Hi.
telecom background, so I just wanted to know that after I wanted to switch the profile. So after 50 days, will I be able to sell myself as a DevOps and or an SRE engineer?
As I said, right, I think already to the similar question, I'll be considering that every one of you will be completely new to this IT background. That's how my course will start with, very basic. And as I said, if you are already having some technical background, it's easy for you to understand. If not, it may difficult for you to understand. So whoever is having the non-technical background of thing, you need to put little more effort and you need to ask the right questions to me to get the things done. But yeah, it's doable.
So is there any prerequisite that we
No,
should do? Is
no.
there nothing?
So you don't need to have any prior knowledge or any prior prerequisites that you need to follow before come to my course, because as I said, I'll start with a kind of a basic that should be good enough for everyone. You don't need to have any other knowledge before come to me.
Understood. Thank you.
Hi, Reddy. Just want to know like till what level you would be covering in Git and all those things.
As I said, like usually the levels will be level 1, level 2, level 3, level 4. That's how we usually measure, right? So I would
Hmm.
say L3 is the level that we are targeting in this course.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, I'm
And
having an
go
15 years.
ahead, because
Yep, continue. Yep,
Hello,
I'm
Reddy.
having around 15 years of experience.
okay.
So I'm having also experience in Azure, basically Azure DevOps. So just wanted to enhance or more versatile in this cloud technologies. So I just wanted to go this course as well. But actually, I'm having a 15 years of experience as a developer. So what this course will add a value in my profile? Is it something that I'll be a developer or I'll be a DevOps engineer? Because last 4 or 5 years I'm working as a DevOps plus an developer. So
Definitely, right. That's great that you are on the similar platform, but if you're interested on this, good. But in general, let's say keeping your experience in mind, when you become the manager or you become the lead where you are handling the project, so some of the projects are having multi-cloud environment which has the AWS and Azure and the different DevOps toolset. So having the idea how other technologies works, like how the AWS works, how the other DevOps tools works, Having the idea will help you to manage the team, will help you to manage the projects. Of course, you don't need to have the implementation skill as a technical, right? But having some sort of knowledge how other things work, so help you to guide the team and get the things implemented, because you know the pros and cons and the other the things, right? So that way it helps you guys, right, who are is having the broader skill set in mind.
Okay. So you'll be covering some Linux introduction and Python and
Yes,
all other stuff you'll be covering, right?
yes, it go from very basics, as I said.
Okay, because actually I'm from .NET background and I'm more into Microsoft side. So this will be a new technology altogether beyond
Correct, correct.
uh,
You are
Microsoft.
having some Windows kind of world, but yeah, this is the Linux world. Yes, I'll go with very basics of Linux, which is a mandate for DevOps engineers.
Okay, thank you, Pierre.
Thank you, Vikas.
Hello, sir.
And
Actually, I am from non-IT background of holding 10 years of experience. If I go with this course, how will my project, in the real time world, how will this IT industry will accept me as a DevOps and what could be the hurdles I need to face? So I wanted to know in a better way.
well,
Is it
so
really suitable
considering,
for me or
yeah,
not?
considering that a lot of folks are from a different background, not similar to the IT or the DevOps. So that's the reason I'm actually coming up with a lot of resources for you. It's not about just delivering the course, right? You see that I have a question tracker to put your questions, the tracker, the assignment tracking here, and the daily course content tracker, the corresponding links that you need to follow, right? So I'm giving a lot of resources here for you to explore. The reason why I'm coming up with a lot of resources like this, because whoever is having the non-technical background or come from different background, you may need more information to read through and exercise through, right? Not just our deliver itself. That's the reason I'm providing a lot of details here. But yeah, now it's your responsibility or spending the time to go with all the resources that I'm providing and come back to me if any questions that we will be covering up. And anyway, right, we are planning to have no, one session and on Friday, right, based on the number of questions that I see in the question tracker, right, and even the number of people that how many are actually taking only the recording sessions, not the live sessions. Based on that, anyway, I'll be available on Friday to connect with for any generic discussions, right? So that way, yes, it should work for you guys who are having the non-technical background as well. You need to utilize these resources.
I mean, like how this IT world looks as a non-IT peoples and how will they accept after the course?
I
Will
don't
they
think so.
do?
That's a really a difference from there. They just look at your skill set. Right? I see that the look at the experience that you have and the skill set that you have. You are proving that you are a DevOps guy and you know the way how it works, then it's good enough. I would say very bare number of companies are actually looking for your total complete background, where you come from, what you worked on, everything. But majority of the companies are actually looking at your skill set, what you know, whether you are good fit for this position or not. I'm not
Okay.
saying all the companies, but definitely only handful of the companies are looking for the complete history, but many of them are just looking at your skill, you are capable for the role or not.
Okay.
As a DevOps engineer, do companies often need you to have certifications?
Companies, sorry, certification is a kind of optional, guys, but having the certification is definitely adds the value. But I would say, let's say you have a certification, but you are not able to perform the interview very well, you are not selected, right? Let's say you don't have a certification, but you performed well in the interview, you got selected. That's how it works, right? So that means certification is not really a mandate, but the certification help you just to shortlist the resume. That is the only one step where the certification will help you guys. the recruiters will get some 10 resumes, and they need to somehow they need to finalize the resume which can go to the next step, right? They can't pass all the 10 resumes to the next step. So whichever the resume has put some certification, they may think that this guy might be having more expertise. Let me put forward this resume to the next step. So I would say, at least based on my experience, the certification will help you to get shortlist your resume. Apart from that, it does not have any value to this, because later on it's up to you how you are performing the interviews.
Hey, hi, Reddy. How you will help us in a job placement and how it's going to work in?
Again, right, the placement is kind of a very tricky, right? We can't say that we will be giving you the 100% placement, because at the end of the day, we are not the guys to recruit you guys and put into my project, right? So, so rather, using the word called, we will be there for you to do the placement, but we'll be there here to give you the resources that help you to get placed. And that's where these interview preparation tips will help you, right? I'm actually preparing hard to uh, prepare the use cases for everything, and we'll discuss about these. That way you will know how to perform in the interviews, right? How to tell about your projects, what is your responsibilities in the real time, right? And what are the different projects that you delivered, because I go with them. So I'll prepare you guys to be fully ready to crack the interviews, and that will be good enough to get into that world. Because anyway, you put your resume in the job portal, you get a call. So my goal is, if you get at least 3-4 calls, you should be able to crack the interviews. I'll try to prepare you to that level.
One more last question. Actually, I am having a 9 years of experience, 9 years of experience in Linux, core Linux. So my company currently is running this DevOps and Kubernetes and all this kind of stuff from Azure. So what will be the major changes, or if I am learning on AWS, then will it be more different, or it will be a minor different, or how much I need to learn myself to take my company project and go further for it on a Azure.
Okay, so I understood, like, you are on Linux, right?
Yes, right. I am on Linux from 9 years of experience. Like I am having.
Mhm, mhm. So pretty much, if you are working only on the Linux, so I assume that you are working on the VMware kind of virtualization environments, or maybe a physical
Yeah,
servers.
all things like Docker and VMware and kind of AWS and many kind of stuff. Like uh, some tools also of DevOps I'm using, but not whole and soul of Kubernetes. We have different team. They are managing of Kubernetes and everything, but they are managing
Got you.
using Azure and everything. So I want to join that team and I want to progress
Got
myself
you.
in that.
So at least from our batch scope perspective, I'm not touching anything related to Azure, which will be a different scope altogether. I don't want to mix up the Azure with the AWS in one single course. That's the reason. The second thing, probably if you start looking at the new opportunities, right? The new opportunities are mostly looking at the Kubernetes and the cloud skill. Any one of the cloud, Azure or AWS, doesn't matter, right? And at least we are focusing on Azure, sorry, AWS. But yeah, any one of the cloud, and the Kubernetes is the more expected skill if you are planning to, onboard into any new projects. So that way it will help you, because here we are touch base with advanced tools which are most in the new projects, like Kubernetes, Terraform, AWS, Docker, and the Jenkins Argo CD in respective, because Argo CD is pretty much used in the Kubernetes. So having this latest trend in hand definitely help you to get into that.
Hello. How can we access for the recordings and other stuff you share?
The recordings will be uploaded into our own portal. We have the courses.valaxy.in platform. So in this platform, we are actually uploading all of our recordings, right? So we'll get access to those things once we complete your enrollment process. We'll be getting to that, guys. Probably, I don't know if I have the access here.
Can we download these recordings in our local, or it will be
I
always
think
in
it's
our
not
portal?
supported. It's not supported as of today, but you can access through online portal. Once you log into this Valaxy portal, you get to see the courses that are actually assigned for you. So that's where you can access the course. For example, I'll just open one of the course here. So this is the course that I delivered for the previous batches. So you will be getting the recordings for these, and this is how you can see the list of all the sessions that we have conducted in a series. So that's how you can follow through. Each recording will have some kind of the notes as well, and yeah, that's how it will work. Here the admin contact number that you need to ping and complete your enrollment process, guys. And we will be starting our sessions start from Monday, as I said. And once the WhatsApp group is created, we'll start publishing the details. So how to get the recording, where to get the recording, the process, the required onboarding related information. Every information will be passed through there. Right. I see a question in the chat window from Manish that uh, he's in network engineer role, right? The thing is, when you come to the DevOps role, right, you should have some kind of infrastructure knowledge, some database knowledge, some scripting knowledge, some networking knowledge, some cloud knowledge, some OS knowledge. Yes, it is a pack of multiple different skills should be right. So mean that if you are already in a network engineer role, that's good enough because you already know some of the networking things, which makes your life easier to understand what I'm discussing here. So usually I start with the networking basics from very scratch again, considering that the people are very new. But yeah, if you're already having that skill is good enough, but yeah, it helps you to get into this role. Any other questions, do let me know, guys, or else I'm good. I hope I have given all the answers, whatever the queries that you have. Right now, just contact the admin or you can connect to the admin even later the session as well if you have any specific questions, and complete your registration processes, and we'll walk through from Monday to reach our goal.
The classes will start from Monday, right? Like from the scratch.
Yes, Monday will be our very first batch, sorry, first session. Monday I'll start with a very basic like what is server, what is infrastructure, what is data center, right? I'll start with some of the key general terminologies and I'll go with that. Yes. All right, team. If no questions, we are good for today. Then yeah, you can take the details of the contacts in the screen that you see at this time. And yeah, we'll catch up on next Monday.
Sure. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank